2016 was a big year for the Nazis getting their asses kicked. Of course, there's a lot of them, and they don't exactly, bow out. I'm of the understanding that there was ostensibly a whole big plot, and Der Fuhrer ran for his life, which is wise because I don't have any control over the goddamn zombie apocalypse. I was like, oh, I'm in charge. I'm gonna go ahead and give it to Prince Harry since he has military training. The deadliest zombie apocalypse the world has ever known. The next day, London is royals like, where did all these zombies come from? I told them to eat their fucking guns, your majesties. They don't listen. At one point, I went to the VA, which happens to be located on an Indian reservation, and they sent some suits to my house. And they're like, you need to sign these papers, you're not to go back to the reservation. I'm like, well, you're not to leave it. The hell do you think you are? In America, the government is not absolute immunity. I don't know if they want to institute a theocratic monarchy here. They'll just come to my house, tell me where not to go. If I'm trespassed, you meet me on the property. Okay, you've heard of swatting. You don't like somebody, you call in a hostage situation on their behalf. Okay, well, you don't just trespass me from somewhere I'm not. I had these idiot deputies wait till I leave a place, pull me over, and be like, oh, you're not allowed to go there. Because they like the chick that works there. So Trump gets elected, and the Secret Service comes to my house, tell my mom it's something to do with drugs. They come in my room, talk, I put on a tie. I still don't know what any of this is about. And they, their attitude is just like, yeah, uh-huh. And then Marine One, the most beautiful Osprey, hovering over the pasture next door. I'm outside my underwear like, hello? Well, long after all this, I finally realized they're just confirming that I'm here. Because the narrative that their official narrative is that I never left. The whole idea is they wait till you leave to charge you so they can say that fleeing is an admission of guilt. Then if you come back, they don't have anything. It was all them all along. In fact, it was the doctor, but that's the guy with the paycheck. But that's the thief. Not you owe me money? Like, since when has that ever been a problem? It's the same campaign fund. Like, Truckers Union, MS-13, okay, Republicans, Democrats. See how it goes and then build both parties. The whole thing is ridiculous. They're all suckers. They're all patsies. This is Joey Greco's turf. He might say it's not, but, I'm here getting my toes stepped on from there, therefore. Incidentally, shortly prior to this, the SATCOM, the Doppler array, was liquidated. I don't know where you think you're getting your information. The Army don't want no part of it. And then I traced the threatening emails from my spam folder on behalf of the FBI, King Abdulaziz University, Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Islam uses terror to seize control of the world's most precious resources, be it guns, oil, drugs, the American broadcast mass media zombie apocalypse. Mar-a-Lago is staffed with Haitians. Like, the doorman was Somalian. We're going to say Somalian. I don't want to go into the geography. I don't want collateral damage. Suffice to say, that is my caper. Mr. President, I don't owe this regime anything we can't settle in lead. Having been handed this awesome godlike power and finding out that either you or your predecessor has been using it to just abuse people, do you A, correct the situation, or B, 4 more years? In 2015, I said I had already won. I didn't know what was going on. I already won because I didn't consent. I wasn't aware of any alleged arrangement Now, the tailored advertising is, supposed to connect you with the goods and services you require, not misdirect your intel to whomever is most lucrative to their agenda. So now I got like military algorithm. Like, nuh-uh, I'm not talking to you. I, Noel D. Smith, do solemnly swear to preserve and defend the Constitution of the United States of America against all enemies, foreign and domestic, so help me God. I know there's a whole other part about obeying the commands of some sucker who takes a dive on your behalf and leaves you holding the bag. Now, I see, we're at an impasse because Intel is like, Air Force or Marine One didn't come to your house, and I'm like, okay, well, being a fucking retard is a form of insanity too. Watch you don't get locked up, because the Marines know where Marine One has been. Oh, we're not allowed to get political. Well, we're 3 years into the Biden administration. He's gonna win again. I don't know if he'll finish his second term. He's pretty old. No offense, sir. I don't know if the Republicans and their in their dreams they're gonna flip the whole Trump camp to DeSantis. Maybe don't unleash the zombie horde on somebody who's onto you from the get. But for purposes of litigation, we're not affiliated. Somebody trying to use me as an inside source, like, cutoff for that was 2022 or 2002. So our options for exactly what kind of information was leaked are pretty limited. That narrows it down. Oh, you can just say it was something else and blame someone else and just take our money. Well, if you're so goddamn all-powerful, why don't you fix it? Because you can't. Because you're just the right arm of Zimbabwe. Trump's such a good Protestant, he turned the New Jersey State Police into a white slave child sex trafficking ring. Protestants have this complacent attitude toward white people, and as long as that doesn't work, why shouldn't everything else be broken? The Muslims are not the same as the Hindus. 20 years, 30 years ago, the Hindus got a $10,000 grant to come here and buy a gas station, 7-Eleven, motel. Now it's all, Bengalis and Pakistanis. I don't hate them. I'm just saying, their religion is terrorism. Look at their skin tone and act like they're the same kind of animal. The Hindus are humans. Ask Alexander the Great. That's why I say it's not the Muslims, it's Islam. See, I'm all about eliminating excuses. Gandhi was not Hindu. Now, they might not look like slaves, but they've got the excuse. It's not a good situation. Watch Slumdog Millionaire. Bankers don't just steal money. There's always some kind of secret excuse. We lost France with Charles de Gaulle. Were it not for the Protestants, there would be no Islamic State. And that's not just the past 50, 60 years. It goes back 1,500 years. Protestants are a revival of the First Reich. The Second Reich started with the Protestant Reformation and the Kingdom of Germany and the Ottoman Empire. The KKK is a vestigial appendage of the Ottoman Empire. Were it not for the Protestants, there would be no Islamic State. Anyway, when Protestant wet dream Trumpy Bear is president, feds come and go as they please. With the Democrats in control, the signal bounces around from Walmart to Eli Lilly to Comcast, and we don't think so. Worth more than your whole goddamn outfit. You might think it's white Christian purity. You're the right arm of Zimbabwe, for instance. You're doing the dirty work so they don't have to invade. Well, we already have Washington for that. There's a democracy. We decide who does that. Act like it's your religion. Well, if it's not inherently separate from the state, it's not even a religion, let alone Christianity. Lily white Muslims never read a book in their life, because Islam works just as well with the Bible if you're not allowed to read it. Some of us were not allowed to read for 600 years, and it shows. To this day, they would sooner die than read a book. Well, in the immortal words of your true blue, red, whatever creator, your Fuhrer, your illusion of their Fuhrer, Donald Trump, we have never been closer to World War III, so you might yet achieve your ambition. You could try Christianity. It's not too late. You don't, have secret meetings and, act like submissive herd grazers until it's time to snap and do something stupid. The Bible was written before Islam even existed, so I'm sure that if St. Paul were alive today, he would have to consider the possibility that it was actually the Muslims, because the faithful Jews don't do that. The Old Testament is full of stories of God loves the Jews, yay! God's angry with the Jews, oh no. Well, what changed? In the beginning, God set the greater light apart from the lesser. And they forget that from time to time. Well, in Islam, there is no separation. Light is light. You're either a slave of the prophet or the infidel. Women are bought, sold, and traded. Why do you think you have to cover up? You might offend some sensibilities? No, you're going to get raped. You're either a slave of the prophet or the infidel. On the round side of the planet, Abraham takes Isaac to the altar, and he's about to do it, and then God tells him not to, and he says, okay, you got off lucky this time. But these flat earthers read this whole other dimension into it. The child must give something in exchange for forgiveness. It's disgusting. No, Islam recognizes no distinction between church or state and is therefore neither. It's a cult, by definition. This government wastes far too much time quibbling about petty groupthink, just distractions. The root of the issue, can't go wrong with what I know. Stop letting Mogadishu tell you what to do. We have this thing called the universe and everything in it. Stop letting the third world play this government like it's a disposable. mfrodeo.blogspot.com. There's 3 articles. They are not long. Medicine, religion, freedom of the press. I need my license or orders.